Welcome to Dashcam Diary of Disabled. Today's adventures are waking up extremely late to go to the chiropractor. My appointment starts in 5 minutes and I left only 5 minutes ago. I'm going to be about 20 minutes late to my appointment. I even had a wake-up call and I could not, for the life of me, get my butt out of bed. I was like, just grogginess. I haven't even taken my medication yet for the morning. So, I take my medication all the way to my appointment. Hopefully by the time I get there, I should be a little bit more awake. This is one of those mornings. A little bit of swelling, not as much. I'm slowly coming out of my flare, but the inflammation and swelling is still really, really bad in my back. It's still pulling things out. The good news is, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to talk about this. Good news is, I got approved for my MRIs for my tethered cord protocol. We're going to be able to rule it out or confirm that, yeah, it's my spinal cord that's messing me up, that's causing me so much pain. I mean, I'm seriously like 99% sure that's what it is. There's no reason I should be in this much pain. Like, yeah, I understand I'm going to be in pain the rest of my life. I understand that there's going to be, pain as I age. But to this extreme, where pain medication works up until my body's tolerant of it, and then it's like, okay, there's a lot of breakthrough pain now. And that tells me, and my doctor warned me, and I've been in such an anxiety state and a stressed out state because of so much stuff going on and getting ready to go to Vegas, getting my parents' anniversary party stuff taken care of, trying to get my billing stuff situated, writing a thing for a neurosurgeon to sign to fight the VA with a lawyer, trying to get back surgery or spinal cord surgery. I mean, it's a lot on my plate right now. How can you expect me to not be anxious about any of it? And I just want to hurry up and get it over with so I don't have to think about it anymore. But I'm also a procrastinator, and I always do the best when I'm under stress. But it's not good to be under such distress to cause your body to have even more pain than the regular pain. Anxiety feeds into pain, but pain feeds into anxiety. So that's why doctors really don't like to treat both, because you're treating two different things, but really this treating the same thing. I don't know how else to describe it. Is you're treating the same thing, anxiety and pain at the same time. Being on my anxiety pills the last 3 or 4 days, I've been just miss stomach hardly at all anymore. I'm so used to having GERD and having problems and pain all the time that it's just, I'm basically numb to that, a lot of that now. I just don't even recognize it. I tell my brain that's not a pain signal that I need to recognize or address. So I really don't take anything for heartburn or GERD because I really don't feel it anymore. On occasion, once in a while I do, but for the most part, 95% of the time, I really don't feel anything to do with any of that. I've always had problems my entire life, so in my 40s, I feel like I almost have a stomach of steel. But it does get upset still at times. If anything, I get like cramping and pain in my stomach and bowels and intestines and stuff. That's what really sucks. Anything, that's way better. It sucks way more than like GERD or any of that kind of stuff. I used to experience that all the time going to bed at night. But I've also learned that sleeping on your left side also helps prevent that. So if you sleep on your left side, if you're a side sleeper, that will help prevent heartburn and GERD. So there's a good handy tip for you. Sleep on your left side because your stomach will be, because of the way your stomach is placed, if you sleep on your right side, the stomach can empty down into your throat and stuff, but if you sleep on your left side, it's lower than the heart and lower than the esophagus, and so that it does not create GERD and heartburn. Me, I flip and flop like a freaking fish when I sleep because of my EDS and pain and unstableness. But I always remember to try and sleep or fall asleep on my left side, especially if I had eaten within the last 4 hours before I fall asleep. Your stomach is supposed to be completely empty after about 4 hours and doing its thing in its other parts of the body. I just recently went through my colonoscopy, anoscopy, talking to the gastroenterologist. I think I see them again soon. I don't know. I have to look at my calendar. I have so many doctor appointments that I just have to keep it on my calendar, and I really don't think about it or worry about those appointments until like the day before. And I just have to keep checking my calendar to make sure. Okay. I know I don't have any other appointments besides my chiro this morning because my doctor appointment with my primary isn't until tomorrow. I'm really bummed because Wednesdays are usually my slots, and I'm like, what? His slot's full. That's my slot. Must be a new patient in that spot. Because Wednesdays are his half days, and he has like a good like extra time slot that he like usually just leaves open, that he can't have it filled, and I'm usually that filled. But it's only one day of the week that he has that, and yeah, I usually would get that appointment, so I'm a little bummed I don't have that one today. But I'm also glad because I have so much other stuff I need to do. I need to finish detailing this car. If I am not super bad at the chiropractor, if he doesn't have to adjust a lot, but I think he does. My body just settled in all the wrong places, but not as bad as the week prior. Okay, yeah, maybe it was. My pain was really bad earlier this week. It was so bad. I couldn't get through. This was about the second week in a row that the pain was so bad in my thoracic. I was crying. I can't manage this level of pain most days. I just can't. I'm not going to give up. Believe me, I'm never giving up. I'm going to live till I'm 100. I'm living till I'm 100. Damn it. But the pain sucks. It sucks a lot. Thank goodness I'm not in extreme pain right now, so I can kind of smile and laugh about it. But it's no joke. Like, it freaking hurts. I would not wish this upon anybody. Except for the doctors that doubt me. I kind of wish that they could feel this pain. If they felt this pain, they'd be like, no wonder you're begging for pain pills, bitch. If only they knew. I wish that doctors could feel this pain. I wish the politicians would feel this pain and understand why it leads to a lot of other mental illness and problems. Because when the people go ask for help, they don't get it, and they're like, alright, self-medicate, black market, let's get some drugs that might end up killing us. That's the way it goes. Because they're not only numbing physical pain, but emotional pain. You got the physical pain, you go ask for help, it causes mental pain because they're like, drug seeker, we don't give you opioids, get out of here. I'm very passionate about the opioid epidemic, and I understand it has killed people. We're the pharmaceutical companies, right? In making the medication, yes. Is it the doctor's fault? Yes, because they don't know their patient good enough to be able to prescribe the medication. Because we only get 15 minutes to push our case at doctors. And then they gotta make a quick judgment. That was a long word. I thought I was trying to take a drink. Alright, medication's taken. Today is not taking a vitamin supplement day. I just don't have that with me. I'd like just grab my stuff and go. Gotta get to this appointment. But I know I've talked about the opioid epidemic and pain medication and stuff before. It's no joke, people. Like I understand why, but also not. It makes me so mad because I read the studies that the CDC used to write their guideline. Let me say it again in quotation marks. Guidelines on how to prescribe and how much to prescribe patients. The government took the CDC's guidelines as fact, and we shouldn't give anybody pain medication. And the guidelines that the CDC based their decision off of originally multiple years ago, which they have now backtracked. And how many years is it going to take to trickle down to the doctors that the CDC is backtracking? Yeah, I don't know if they'll ever get back to that trickle down. So, the study, the peer-reviewed journal article that the guidelines are based off of not just prescription pain pills. They were basing all the deaths and stuff off of every death, off of every type of opioid, black market, and not. So they were grouping in the clinical studies that they based it off of are not what they seem to be. I went to the CDC website. I went to their sources list of what they base their decisions off of. All of this is public knowledge. Public knowledge, you can look it up, what study they base their decision upon. And when you read that study and understand how to read those studies, because I got my bachelor's degree in science and I know how to read scientific peer-reviewed journal articles, even medical terminology, because I was trying to figure out what the F was wrong with me for 12 years while I was going to college. And, okay, I didn't go for 12 years. I went for 6 years. So I exaggerated. But I went to college for 6 years. Had a university address. But it is common knowledge. You can look up what these studies are. And once you read what they base the study off of by reading the population that they used for their statistics, the statistics did not math. The math did not math. And they used not just prescription pill overdoses, they used overdoses of heroin, fentanyl, all these other things. They did base it off of people taking prescriptions, but they based it off of others as well. They have to have a control group. They have to have other kind of groups. They retracted their guidelines once they realized how serious all the doctors and the government was taking their guidelines into consideration and seeing how many people were killing themselves because they were going to the black market and overdosing that way, which was also included in the original study that they based their guidelines off of. So that only exacerbated the problem with those kind of deaths. So then when they decide to retract their statement 2 to 3 years later, it's already been done. It's already too late. The VA, I found out from VA personnel that work behind the scenes that do authorizations for community care, and they have briefs and meetings all the time. And they had a new Pacific Northwest director come into the VA in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, and parts of Idaho, I think. The director of that big area section of the VA systems that are ran in the Pacific Northwest. The new director was like, I'm going to get all these veterans off of opioids because that's going to show the government that I'm doing a great job, and then I'll get more promotion, and then I'll get more money because I'm a great politician and I'm great at getting things done, and I'm going to sign things, and I'm going to put policies in place and take all these veterans off of opioids. This was in a meeting on a PowerPoint to the employees. The employees have felt comfortable talking to me because I am a great gatherer of information, and I am just really easy to talk to and admit things to. And I like to bring up problems that are bothering me while I'm talking to these people that are also human and also have feelings and also are trying to help veterans out. And it chaps the employees' hides, the VA employees' hides, that they too know that it's all a political game about getting people off the drugs, and then there's no place for them to go besides the black market to go die on the streets without the VA's help, because the VA does not want to help them. They think that the VA is trying to kill us by giving us opioids when really it's giving us a quality of life. And the whole opioid epidemic is a bunch of BS. I mean, it's a bunch of BS in the way that directors and politicians are like, oh, I'm going to do this one good thing. This is going to be the thing that I contribute to that company, and this is what I'm going to contribute to the United States. I'm going to be fantastic and get all these veterans off the drugs because we don't want them to die like that. We don't want to be the ones killing them. We would rather them go die in the streets instead and go get fentanyl, and now there's fentanyl-laced weed. I mean, look at the epidemic now, and then they're trying to blame it on the Oregon's decriminalization law, which they just reversed. But I think it's a disservice that they reversed it because they were finally starting to get more research about psychedelics and ways to help treat PTSD, which would also help benefit veterans. And then Oregon also has ketamine treatments for complex PTSD and trauma and stuff as well. But I feel like Oregon did a disservice by decriminalizing all drugs. It was a poorly written law, but it offered the chance for research to be done to show that microdosing and doing guided meditation type stuff with psilocybin has been quite the benefit for veterans and other people alike that have problems in mental health. So I don't know how that's going to, now that they have reversed that law, I don't know if we're going to still be able to do facilitated microdose therapy sessions in Oregon now because of the law being reversed. I don't know how that's going to affect that, if it does. But I know that law was able to gain that knowledge for research and for therapy type services. But the state wasn't fast enough. It wasn't fast enough getting things put in motion. And then things just got really out of control on the streets and the black market and everything. Which, if you really think about it, think about prohibition. The more you try and restrict something, the more it's going to go to the black market. So if you can only regulate things better, I'm not trying to say regulate hardcore drugs, I'm not by any means, but like certain ones that do provide a benefit, like psilocybin, in order to get therapy for complex PTSD and drug-resistant, regular medication-resistant PTSD. It's a lot, man, and it's a bummer that politics get in the way of actually really helping people. And it helps, and it pisses the VA employees off that they see what happens to us veterans, and that's why a lot of them end up quitting. They can't handle it. They see the policies and the things that happen and the things that go on with the VA, but then some of them just stick with it because it's job security, but then they hate their job because they aren't able to help the veterans, because the veterans are just, their hands are tied. What do you do? I'm at my appointment. Peace out. Keep smiling and never give up.